to enjoy this sunshine. How many people have a pool and are thinking about opening it up early? I'm one. Last time I preempted that, it snowed. So maybe not. Suzanne Keen has the right idea. She has her goggles on for skiing. Anyways, I want to welcome everybody to our March meeting. We have lots to cover today. We're going to talk about the market, but we do have some special guests. And we also have some TRESA updates that I know are very, very important for us to cover. It's been a moving target, and just as we've been prepared, we've been completing the preparation of certain documents like office policies, buyer and seller presentations. There goes another change that they want to add. So the first thing we're going to do is get that heavy lifting housekeeping TRESA conversation out of the way. And with that, we're going to have Matthew, share his screen and talk about some of the changes and how we need to look at these forms and clauses and changes and how we're going to implement them. Take it away,
Thank
Matthew.
you. Good morning, everybody. So share this. All right. So as Tim mentioned, we do have a few new updates. A lot of this was sort of things that we were told about last month, but they have been implemented. They're active in web forms. And so we want to go through and show them to everybody now. So we're going to talk about the revocation clause that is out there if you have a seller who wants to share the substance of their offers, and a new form that AREA has produced to enforce that revocation. The designated representation specific agreements are out. And with that, our deal checklists have been updated. So we're going to go through that. And I want to cover as well what will qualify for acknowledgement that your clients have received and been explained the RICO guide. So those are the things we're going to touch on quickly this morning. This, again, is the revocation clause. You can find it in the clause library in WebForms, SkySlope, and your providers. But just as a reminder, that is the clause to use if you have a buyer who is concerned about the contents of their offer being shared in an open offer situation. You can have a discussion with them, and this is the clause you can put in. So with that, AREA has produced this notice of revocation, which they have determined would be required to enforce the buyer's wishes that their offer be revoked. So you'll see it says buyer and seller at the top for the property address, obviously, and the references the agreement of purchase and sale. It produces there the clause that I just showed you. So if you do have a buyer who is wanting to do this, please use that clause, or you would need to sort of produce your own notice of revocation, I suppose, but this is the one they recommend. And so this essentially just says, you can see there right above the comment section, the buyer hereby notifies the seller that the offer is revoked and null and void. So if you're on the buyer side, you get a call from the seller's agent and they say, seller has chosen to disclose contents of the offers. You would then go to your buyer with this form, have it signed, sent off to them, and that would, formally revoke their offer from the process. So this is a new form in AREA's form library, Form 108. And as I mentioned last month, the designated representation specific agreements are here. So as a brokerage, I hope we all know we're operating under designated representation. So the original forms that we are used to using for listings, 200, for buyers, 300, we're going to be transitioning now to the ones you can see on the right, 271, 272 for buyers or for sellers and landlords, and 371 and 372 for buyers and tenants. You'll also see there the commercial ones. Those have been listed out as well. So I just want to point out a few of the major changes that we're going to be looking for on these new forms as we start to use them. And just know that going forward, we need to be using the forms that are on the right-hand side. So this is the new listing agreement, Form 271, obviously very similar to Form 200, but you'll see under the seller line there, it says designated representative. The schedule reference that used to be on the third page is now front and center on page 1, and you'll see that Schedule A is pre-filled in. We all know by now that Schedule A is a requirement for any agreement we signed with a client, and so that has been brought right to the forefront to say there is a Schedule A, and it is now part of the actual agreement. So if we skip to the final page, when you go into web forms, the schedule will pre-populate. It will give you this form as a nudge reminder that this is a required part of the document. So those are the big changes to the representation agreements. It's the same you can see for the landlord. Schedule's preloaded. For the buyer, same thing on essentially on page one. But one thing that a lot of people have had questions about and commented to me was that there was an address line on Schedule A for our BRAs, and that ARIA has listened. That has been removed. So you'll see on that schedule now, it's just the brokerage and the buyer's name. And then that's where you're going to outline the requirements for Schedule A. And we have our tenant rep, same sort of thing, schedule is in there, and Schedule A. So those are the biggest changes to the representation forms. We just need to be mindful that we're using the right form numbers going forward. Any questions before we move along? No? All right. So with all of that, the deal checklists have been updated. And this will be, as of this afternoon, on the My Remax Ultimate site in our Tressa section. And we'll also be sending this out via email to everybody, but we have included the form numbers for some of the new forms. So hopefully that will assist you when you're going through and doing your deal checklist. This has also been circulated to our admin team, so they're aware of all of these changes as well. And hopefully this is useful to you as a cheat sheet when you're putting together templates for yourself in web forms or SkySlope.
Now, if you don't mind me just jumping in here really quick, Matthew, I apologize for the interruption. What's really important for all of us on the call to note is that the resource center at myremaxultimate.com requires a username and a password to access. We have changed that several weeks ago, and we did put out a memo about that. And the reason is we have a lot of intellectual property that was housed on, on My Remax Ultimate, open for anybody and everybody to see. Part of the good news about that happening is we discovered that several brokerages tapped in and used our resources for their own brokerage. So it's always great to give back the way we have to other brokerages, but there is other intellectual property on there that should not be visible to other brokerages or agents. For example, buyer's plans, seller plans, checklists like this one, for example, and after sell letters and all these resources that have been built over the many years through hard work that should not be openly accessible. So please go to My Remax Ultimate and create your own personal account with your email address and password. And that way you're able to access this information. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's great. And the one thing I'll just point out as we're looking at this checklist and sort of leads into the next slide is remember from last month, working with the realtor has been discontinued at ARIA, and all that is required now is the RICO guide acknowledgement. So you'll see that as the first item for all of the paperwork summaries. And we have had some questions about what is acceptable for that. So I'm just going to show you the two different ways that you can submit the acknowledgement that your clients have read and been explained the RICO guide. So if you are using RICO's online tool, and you'll see the website there, ricoinfoguide.ca, this tool allows you to share the guide with a client electronically. It will send you a series of emails throughout the process, one to say that it's been shared with them, that they have opened it, and different things. The very final one, if everything works well, is this email that you'll see on the left-hand side saying that they have received and been explained the guide. You can submit that, essentially what is on the screen there, with your client names. Where it says my name, that would say your client's name. So you can submit that with your deal, and that will be acceptable proof that the RICO guide has been provided. On the left-hand side, of course, is the actual physical acknowledgement page from the guide. You can also submit that. If you're meeting with someone in person or you're having it signed electronically, that's no problem. That version is also acceptable. So one of these two things you can submit with your deals. The one important note is if you are using the RICO tool is that you are as I mentioned, they send sort of a series of emails. The one that you need to submit is this one, and I've highlighted the two important parts, that they've received it and that you have explained it to them. So if you're using an email, just make sure that this is the one that you're submitting with your deals. And that's it for me. We're getting to hopefully to the end of the long Tressa things. So that's everything today. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And actually, the one other thing that I just want to mention quickly is we have or are going to be starting sort of a monthly broker Q&A. If anybody saw that in your event email that went out this week. And essentially that is, there's lots of questions specifically about Tressa and other things that are coming up. And we wanted to have a forum where you can come and sort of ask those questions and learn from questions that your peers might be asking, because we've certainly been receiving a lot of great questions, and it would be awesome if more people were around to listen to the answers sometimes. So that will be every month. The day immediately following the meeting, one of us will be available to do that. So it'll be tomorrow, the first one at Bayview at 1 p.m. So come on down if you have any other questions that we don't have time to answer sometimes in our Hour on the Market meeting. But if there's questions, I'm happy to answer a couple.
Does anybody have any questions right now? I see no questions.
Perfect.
Sorry,
Oh,
Tim.
wait, there is something. Yeah.
Can you, Matthew, can you clarify if somebody's representing both the buyer and the seller, how that works and the order and which forms are required?
Sure. So let me, part of it depends on who your sort of initial client is. So let's say you have a listing and you've signed the paperwork with the seller initially. So if you meet a buyer at an open house, for example, and you go through what it means to be in multiple representation, and the buyer says yes, at that point, before you sign a buyer representation agreement with them or any further paperwork and offer, anything like that, go to your seller and get the seller consent form 325 signed by the seller. Then you would go to the buyer and have your BRA done. Then you would do 326, which is the multiple rep consent for the buyer. And then you can proceed with the offer paperwork. Just remember that the intention with Tressa is that the time that clients have to make a decision about multiple rep is advanced, and that it's not happening at the moment of an offer. So it's very important that those acknowledgement and consent forms are signed in advance of any offer paperwork and not as part of an offer paperwork package that you're sending out to a client.
As a matter of fact, if I may add, what's extremely important is that this has always been a challenge in our industry, not just with Tressa right now, but even from before. Most of the cases in arbitration and professional standards, the biggest complaint and the biggest point that causes a hanging to any agent is when it's evident that the BRA that's for 1 year, the offer, the acknowledgement, and everything is done at the same time. And the biggest argument that happens, or debate and argument and contentious point that happens with consumers, is that they were not really explained everything. They were just given everything in one package to sign in one shot. So what Matthew said is very, very important. The earlier, the better, to make sure that you're not, caught in that scenario.
There's a question in the chat I just want to answer to from Jessica.
Yes.
So yes, when I looked this morning, working with a realtor has actually been pulled out of web forms. So you should no longer have access to that form in web forms. However, if you signed that with a client 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was completed correctly as we understood it to be a month ago, where they have initialed that they have been explained the guide, that is sufficient. If you still have one of those forms, it will still be accepted. Our admin teams know that, and I would imagine in 2 or 3 months we'll be completely transitioned over to the RICO acknowledgements that I showed you. But yes, there will be a little bit of a transition with that.
Perfect. We have another comment in the chat.
Yeah, not so much a question about this. I think it's a question to everybody out there. Has anybody had a seller who has chosen to go with open offers? That's a great question. I'd really be curious to hear. No.
Looks like nobody in the chat,
Yeah,
nobody here today. I haven't heard of anybody moving forward with an open offer scenario as of yet.
me neither.
Yeah. But again, we are quite early. We'll talk about the market a little bit later and discuss the fact that there are in some situations where offer dates come and there's offers and there's offer dates come and go with no offers. So I think it depends. I think we're in the market right now where that hasn't been used that way.
And Joe, your question about checklists for multiple offer, multiple, I'm assuming you mean multiple representation. They are included, those forms, the new forms that are out there, the acknowledgement and consents are included on the checklists, and beside it does say if applicable. So it is up to all of us to know when you're in that situation, the order to go through, and when you need them, when you don't. But they are included on there to, provide you with the form number and jog your memory if you're in that situation.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. Oh, we have one more. Schedule A to tenant. Do you mind jumping on that? No, it's not.
Is Schedule A different? No, it's not. So in the schedule guidance document that has gone out and is on my Remax Ultimate site, there is a section there that does reference some services that you can provide to tenants that you can put in Schedule A, but the requirements that it contain your services, a termination provision if they don't consent to multiple rep, stand. So those clauses need to be included as well. And all of that is found in the schedule guidance document.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much, Matthew. And if there's any other questions regarding Tressa, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Matthew, or anybody in our leadership team to discuss, any questions that you might have. It's our pleasure to help. We are obviously watching any other changes, and as Matthew said, hopefully there's no more, and we could put all this behind us and move forward with just transacting. And we'll talk about the market a little bit later. So now we'll move on to a guest that we have here from Broker Pocket. For many of you that may or may not be aware, we have signed with Broker Pocket. Remax Condos Plus signed up before Remax Ultimate, but with the merger, we kind of, did everything together. There's a lot of questions you might have regarding Broker Pocket. So with that, I'd like to invite our guest to kind of hop on here and present with how the platform works and the changes and what's moving forward with it.
Yeah, so thank you. My name is John. I'm the manager of operations at Broker Pocket. Normally, Raf does these presentations, but he's away at a conference right now, so I'm going to go through it. A lot of you have probably joined or at least been signed up, so you may have an account, or if you're new to the brokerage, you may not have an account, and if that's the case, you can go to the site, sign up. It's free to sign up and just select your brokerage, or you can contact your admin and your admin can reach out to us and we can add you manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to do a quick overview of the platform. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me along the way and I'm happy to answer those for you. So can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So this is the main screen once you log in. Just a welcome screen, gives you a brief overview. So we have the total number of agents on the platform. We're just over 11,000 at this point. And these are the active listings that we have on the platform. As a side note, the majority of the listings on the platform are assignment listings. And then we have some other exclusives. So the platform overall is assignment, coming soon, commercial, and we added rentals about 4 months ago. So we have some rentals on the platform as well. The first screen, once you enter, is going to be the search. So you can search by map, or you can search over here. You'll have the option of searching all types, sale or lease. And then we break it down to assignment, exclusive, coming soon, commercial over here. So they're color coordinated. Just for an example, I'm going to search Toronto and hit apply. So then we have the results populate over here on the left, and you'll also see them on the map. You can click to zoom in and it'll take you to the listings. Computer's a bit slow. And we'll just open up this one as an example here. Hopefully. So at the top, you have all of your pictures. Then you have a brief overview. So you have price, beds, baths, days on market, the address. Quick note about the address. If you're listing a property, you don't have to put the entire address. The purpose of our platform is to allow seller privacy. So you can put an intersection. You can also put the city if you would like. You have the option to contact the agent, which brings up a chat bubble here, and you're able to contact that way. Book a showing will just bring up contact information for the agents. So the brokerage, the email, and the phone number, these are both clickable. So if you click them, it'll open up your email. And if you're on a browser and you have a phone enabled browser, it will call them. But if you're on mobile, it can call them from your mobile as well. And then we also have this report feature. This is kind of like a self-policing feature. So if you see something that has issues on the platform, that may be on MLS. We don't allow listings to be on MLS and on BrokerPocket, but you can go to BrokerPocket first and then go to MLS. We don't have any problem with that. There's no restrictions. But if you see something that's duplicated, you can report it here and it'll go to our support team and we'll investigate that. Similar to MLS, we have an overview and then just some basic information about the listing. You'll also have the ability to heart the listing. So this likes it and saves it for later. And then some listings will have this button here, which allows you to share it. When you share the listing, it will remove the listing agent from it and put your name at the top of the listing so you can share it with a client. It also won't share anything about commission. So it's basically like a public facing view. And it's just one link. It doesn't allow the client access to the platform. It just allows them access to that particular listing. I'm going to pause there and see if there's any questions so far. No.
Looks like we're good so far.
All right.
Can I ask a question, please? It's
Yep.
on. I thought we can't have exclusive listings advertised for longer than 3 days without putting
Yes.
them on MLS.
So you're referring to the Korea rule, correct?
I'm not sure which rule it is. I just know that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, so under the Korea rule, there are 3 exceptions. So it's rentals, commercial, and new construction property. So assignments that have not been lived in would fall under those categories. But you're right, for everything else, it's 3 days. So you can still put it on BrokerPocket as a coming soon if you would like, and then you can go to MLS after that. But yes, you would have the 3-day restriction on those
once
other
we
listings.
put it on MLS. Can we still keep it on here?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'd basically be like a pre-marketing campaign. People used to do them for longer, but now we're limited to 3 days for public marketing.
Okay. Thank you.
So it just gives you some additional exposure. There's over 11,000 agents on the platform, so it allows you to kind of market it in that community first if you were to do that.
Okay.
The second feature we have here is the sell feature. So this is how you upload a listing. We do it in 3 steps. So we choose for sale or lease, listing type, property type. And then, as I said before, you can just put a city for address if you'd like. You can also drag and drop this icon so you can bring it to different intersections. And then step 2 will have photos, and step 3 will have all the additional broker notes in there. I'm not going to submit one because I don't want to create a listing. If you get partway through a listing, like creating a listing, it'll save to drafts and you can finish it later. And then once it is posted, you can go into this My Listings tab and you can view all your listings. The third feature we have is the Connect feature. So this kind of just showcases the people that have been successful or found BrokerPocket useful in the past. Kind of showcases their sales volume. This only pertains to how much they've sold on the platform, and it is voluntary. So it's just people self-reporting what they have sold. You do have to include the co-op agent and everything though. So that's one of our ways of validating that people actually did transactions on the platform. If we go to the community button here, we can search agents and brokerages. So if, for example, you're looking for an agent to refer to in another city or in another province, you can find those people here. message them, see what their specialties are, view their profile, and connect that way. And then lastly, you have your agent profile. So this is the only part of the platform that is publicly accessible. So this is indexed by Google. We rank pretty high on SEO. If you Google your name and you're on our platform, you're able to put your specialties. You'll have some achievements here, like uploading your first listing, selling your first property, and then you'll have your brokerage information and the agents at your brokerage. And then you can also request reviews on your profile from clients. And that's a really quick overview. Let me know if you have any questions.
Are there any questions?
I might have missed it, and I see it was going on in the chat. But Alma was asking, will the listing automatically be removed once it's on MLS and or after 3 days? Because I know there's a new rule with exclusives that they're not allowed to, we can't have exclusives anymore.
Yeah,
I was
so
just hoping you could speak on that.
when you upload a listing, you'll have the option to put the expiry date on there. When it is in the exclusive category and it doesn't fall under any of those exclusions that I mentioned, you'll get a warning that pops up and says CREA has a new 3-day rule and we're recommending that you limit your listing to 3 days. We don't mandate that you limit it to 3 days because we're not a board or an organization, but there is a pop-up that does recommend that for you.
Okay.
You can also message us. So if admins message us or the brokerage wants to message us and say, like, we have an MLS listing that's live now, can you please remove our listing? We're happy to do that for you as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, what was shared with us this morning about this is just a platform to provide you that free listing, marketing that exists right now. Obviously, we have to follow the CREA rule of 3 days for homes that are freehold or condos that are people that are already living in them. But yes, it is primarily assignments are excluded. As you said, or was shared with us, commercials excluded and rentals, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
That's correct, yeah.
those are the 3 things that you can leave on there as an exclusive for any period of time. But anything that falls under the CREA rule, we need to follow that rule. We do not want to be fined in any way, right? And they are watching. What I have been seeing lately, and I've received some comments from our team, is creativity in the marketplace. So you're watching some open houses Saturday, Sunday, open houses being advertised on Friday, and they're being done, and then on Monday you see it on the MLS, right? So people are stretching in every way what they can with those 3 days to have a pre-market marketing plan. Just wanted to share that with everybody. So I want to thank you so much. Oh, Peter has his hand up.
Yeah, Tim, I'm not sure if this is for John or for yourself. I just tried signing up and it said my email address was already registered. Are we default at the brokerage? We're already registered?
The majority of you are probably registered. What I can do is after this call, I'll send out the welcome email again, which has the initial password. So you can log in with that password and then you can change it once you're inside.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, John and Broker Pocket team for being on the call. I appreciate you sharing the platform and the information. And by all means, if you have any questions about it, we're here to answer your questions, but they're great support. You can always reach out to them as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time. And yeah, if anybody has questions, the email address that's best for that is support@brokerpocket.com, and we'd be happy to get back to you.
It's
Enjoy
so
the rest of your
nice
meeting.
to have support somewhere else. So we can have the experts taking care of things. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Okay, so we have one more guest with us. We have a long-standing relationship with TD. TD Canada Trust has been, with our brokerages for a very long time, and we just thought it'd be great with the spring market and with rates and the conversations about the economy and the platforms they have that makes their tools really attractive for your clientele. We have Marina with us here. That if you don't mind saying a few words about the TD rewards program and what agents can take advantage of. Marina?
Good morning. Thank you, Tim, for letting us join. I have my partner here too, Darwin, who's going to share the deck, and I will go through the awards program. So we're excited to present our new TD Rewards program. At TD, we appreciate the ongoing support and commitment to our referral sources. It's an important part of our business. That's why we developed TD Referral Rewards. It's a unique appreciation program designed to recognize and reward our referral sources. So next slide, yes. So our TD Rewards program participation is open to all realtors. If you were previously enrolled in our old program, you've been automatically migrated to the new program. For new realtors, all enrollments are to be completed online by visiting tdreferralrewards.com and clicking enroll. And my colleague Darwin will go through the enrollment demo at the end for everyone. So how to earn points. So it's a tiered system, and we're passionate about supporting our customers and helping them achieve their homeownership goals. So for every eligible TD Mortgage or TD Home Equity FlexLine referral that funds, you will earn TD Referral Reward points. And like I said, it's a tiered system. So everyone would start off in the silver status. So once you've passed the 4 mortgage referrals or 4 million, you'd move into the gold and then into the platinum. So each referral gives you, so silver, for example, will give you 15,000 points for every referral. Once you move over to gold, it's 25,000, and then platinum is 35,000 per referral. And just a little example of what 15,000 points equates, say, to travel, it's $150, or in a gift card, it's $120 in gift cards. And the type of transactions that are eligible for points are all new home purchases, builder purchases, refinances, other financial institution switch-ins, and ports. That's moving a mortgage from one property to another, are all eligible for rewards. What's exciting about this new program is that refinances and financial institution switch-ins are now eligible for points. So if you have a client that's looking to refinance a property to potentially purchase, to help facilitate a new purchase, and you refer them over to TD, that will qualify you for the points. And financial institution switch-ins. So those are ones where maybe a client is not happy with their current lender, and you tell them, why don't you go visit TD and see what they can do for you, and we're able to switch in that mortgage. That will also make you eligible for the points. So next slide, what can your points get you? Lots of different merchandise, different gadgets, indulgence, gift cards, experiences, very easy digital shopping cart. You just go in, you do your purchase and your redemption, and you can also top up the redemption with credit cards on select merchandises. Next slide. So for your points for travel, all you would have to do is call TD Expedia, and you can redeem for any type of travel. Also, there's lots of different experiences that you can use your TD Rewards for as little as less than 5,000 points. You can book yourself an experience. Next slide. And then you can purchase all different types of gift cards. Here's an example of some of the gift cards that you can buy. You can use them for yourself, for your clients, friends, family, and all different types of merchandise in terms like gadgets, indulgence, experiences. Next slide. We have our Spirit. So this is our top 25 referral agents and 5 brokers. So every year, the top TD Referral Reward participants are selected for an exciting recognition package. It's our way of saying thank you. And some of the previous packages include Mediterranean cruises, trips to Hawaii, trips to Portugal, personalized experiences, gift cards, and more. So the top will receive, and it's always, these trips are always for the Realtor plus a guest. And from what I hear, they're fantastic. And that's basically an overview of our program. I will pass it over to Darwin just to go through the enrollment process quickly.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Is my mic coming through? Okay, perfect. So just a couple other high-level talking points I want to add to what Marina's shared as well. So our old points program used to be called the TD Service Plus Rewards Points. And so I wanted to emphasize that this new program, well, it looks familiar, is a lot more user-friendly and has been revamped as of summer last year. So there's a lot of agents that have, dormant points, old accounts in the past. Want to mention that I'm going through the sign up process with everyone shortly. But for anybody that does have an old account, it would probably be better for you to not sign up again and just to reach out to Marina or myself directly to have you onboarded and migrated from your old account to the new one so that you still get your old points credit and your redemption value credited. Another thing, so on the spirit of excellence, being that it's top 25 in the country, sometimes agents have mentioned, it's discouraging. They probably won't refer that much. They're not sure how much they'll work with TD or that their clients prefer, finding their own lenders and that kind of thing. So I have heard that in the more recent years, the cutoff for this is around, it's in the low, in total referral volume, in anywhere between like 11 to 14 million or so, which is still a lot of volume, but it's not nearly as much as some people would think for being top 25 across the country. And then the other thing with the points program is it doesn't mean necessarily you have to work with Marina or myself exclusively. Of course, our intention in partnering with RE/MAX Ultimate is we want to get to know you guys and support your deals and clients. But I do encourage people, even if you're working with another bank or anybody else, it is a good tool to add to your belt just to sign up once because you don't have to renew it. You have the points there, and if you happen to have a client that closes with TD, you may not have even really referred that deal, but you can pass on your points number to that rep, and they can get you credit for that deal, right? So it's any deal that credits for $50,000 with TD, whether it's a refinance, purchase, it could be concurrent deals, and they'll count as several referrals. But it's a great thing to sign up for if you haven't signed up for in the past. So the first slide here is just a QR code along with the link in the bottom for you guys to log into our sign up portal. So I'm going to go through the following slides pretty quick. I also want to be a little bit mindful of time. So this will kind of be a Coles Notes sign up for anybody that can follow along. Fantastic. Otherwise, just kind of remember some of the notes that I'll mention here. Right, so on the first screen, what you're going to click on is the login and enroll. Or actually, no, sorry, you're going to log into the Canada login, excluding Alberta and Quebec in the middle there. Okay, so on this screen, which would be the following screen, you're going to click enroll under enroll today. If you've already enrolled and you're logging in, then you would log in on the portal on the left there. So after you go into enroll, there is going to be two options asking if you're an employee or public official. These would likely be no, and then you'll click next step. The next screen wouldn't look quite the exact same. You would get prompted with a pop-up for just the terms and conditions of the program. And basically after you drag all the way down to the bottom, you'd have to click agree here before it allows you to proceed, and then you'd click continue. Okay, so then you'd be prompted with an office ID number for where your primary working office. The drop-down menu is smart, so you can either just put in RE/MAX Ultimate or start keying in the address of your primary office, and it will likely propagate the office. Don't worry about the office ID. After you click your office, it'll automatically fill in at the top, and then you can click continue. For participant type, so you would click real estate agent here. The other drop downs are obviously for our other affiliate partner types as well. So here, this is where you'd fill in your personal information when you get to this screen. The main thing I wanted to point out here is that you don't have to put your professional license number anymore. And then for address, it doesn't have to be your personal address, it can be a working office address as well. So under the participant enrollment, so it asks which rep referred you or you're working with on the program. So here we have my name, Darwin Trong, and then Marina. Here on the drop-down menu, as you know, the direct point of contacts servicing your offices. Marina and I get nothing for you guys signing up through us and tagging our name under this. This is more for follow-up in the future. So anytime that you refer and if you get points credited to your account, we would get CC'd on that just for follow-up to say, yeah, that referral went through, or it doesn't look like it went through. Or if you have any questions or anything like that, then we would also be the middle people to kind of help facilitate any questions with our back office for this program. So a key talking point here, when you key in, I don't know if they fixed this yet, but in email address, when you put in your email address and confirm, especially if you're signing up on phone, your phone is going to default, obviously, as you type in your name to capitalize the first letter. If you have to put the email in all lowercase, or it won't work. You'll basically just get an error, it'll keep crashing, and you'll kind of like need to restart the process and eventually hit the same error. So just remember very specifically when you sign up on the email address fields to manually switch it to all lowercase and then fill in your email address. This is kind of the end of the sign up process where you'd fill in your email address, your password, and your security questions, and you'd be complete from there. So after signing up within 2-3 days, you'll get emailed, and we'll get an email as well if you did tag us as the referral for you to your Service Plus points number. It's usually a 6-7 digit number that you just keep handy, and then when your clients have anything that closes with TD, or if you have a client that doesn't have someone that they're working with and you want to refer them to us, then you'll get credited for those for those closings. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, I think it's that was really good. You know, for us, the most important thing for Darwin and Marina, and for everybody listening, both Condos Plus, you know, and Remax Ultimate. This is just, there's so many tools that Remax, you know, your brokerage here has, and we just want to continuously bring you up to date so things aren't falling through the cracks, right? So we just thought it would take this opportunity to kind of, you know, share that with everybody as well. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, like we got talk about the market right now. Before I go on, take advantage of the TD rewards. As I said before, it's been a long-standing relationship. We have these great partnerships within our brokerage, both with TD and SafeBridge, and our lawyer Cohen & Cohen and Gary Wong. Take advantage of these partnerships. These are long-standing, they're hardworking people who really care about each and every single one of us. They always have our back, and I just wanted to put that last plug in before we move on to the market. Okay, so with that, I want to talk about the market. But before we talk about the market, it's maybe we'll just talk about the market first, because you know Pamela sent me a direct message about leads that are coming into kvCORE. We want to talk about that because there's a lot of emails going out that aren't being responded to. But Pamela, if you don't mind, let's talk about the market first. First and foremost, the market report that we're writing for you is almost completed. Once it should be done today, hand it over to our marketing team with Jackie to make it all pretty and fixed, and then, you know, sent out to all of you. But as you've seen from the TREB report, it came out today. I'm not sure how many people have read it. It's been an interesting February. It seems that from neighborhood to neighborhood, from market to market, whether it's the condo markets reacting completely differently than the rental market and the freehold market, we are seeing a lot more people kicking tires. We've seen an increase in appointments. There have been multiple offers for some people, and there's been offer days that have come and gone without any offers. So it's been quite an interesting market in February. With weather like this, I do believe that we're going to have people more focused on real estate, And the impatience is growing is what I really want to share with everybody. The impatience of interest rates being cut and people no longer waiting on the sidelines. It's just continuously growing. It's like that long trip that we're on sometimes. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's what seems to be happening right now with a lot of buyers. They're anticipating rates coming down and are starting to really window shop and jump in. I'd like to hear from some of you and what you're experiencing in different markets, because one thing that we do see a lot of is even though we're downtown, we all specialize in different neighborhoods and different markets, and it'd be great to hear some feedback on some of your listings and what kind of action you're getting. Does anybody want to share anything? Oh, wow. You're all doing like nobody wants to share anything, eh? Thanks. I appreciate it. Peter K., go ahead.
I'll keep it brief. I would say I noticed significantly busier in January, especially we had clients looking within, let's say E4, and very busy, lots of multiple offers, but also with some other clients looking in lately over the past month in York region. I would say there's lots of opportunities for buyers out there. A handful of offer presentations have, like you said, fallen through the cracks. Not, there was one we were thinking about being a part of, and they only had one we laid off because, our gut was that it was not going to sell. So, just as an example, I sat down with clients for a listing presentation on a detached in north part of York region, and small community, but I looked at what their direct comparables are, and there was probably 12 to 15 out there. So, that's the people that are holding back offers in those scenarios. I'm not sure what they're looking at. So again, I know it varies, but further outs in the 905, I would say it seems to be a little bit more saturated.
Thanks for sharing, Peter. Andre?
Hi, so what I wanted to share is there's a lot of, I guess, similar to what you said, impatience growing, but like there's sellers that want to sell. Some are getting to the point where they need to sell, but they're asking, is it the right time to sell? Should I wait a little bit longer? So once rates start coming down, maybe it's a better time to put it on the market. Same with buyers. They're thinking the same thing. They're thinking, should I wait? Should I wait till rates go down so I can get a better mortgage approval, better terms? Will prices go up? So everyone's asking for that crystal ball. That's what they're really asking for. And is it better to do it in April, May, summer, or fall, or wait a year? So it's really, we're asking, the people are having a lot of questions on predicting things right now, and it's tough.
I believe that there's a couple comments I want to make about that. And there's two camps right now. One camp says that we're going to have a rate cut in April, and one says we're going to have a rate cut in June or later. And either way, the one thing that we can all agree on is that once rates start to come down, there'll be a bigger rush into the marketplace. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that I do believe that we are about 0.5% higher than we should be. The Bank of Canada has overshot. There is some room for rates to come down and still not have a very, very busy market. But once interest rates do come down by as much as 0.5%, I do believe things at that point will change. And then people will be rushing, back into the marketplace. I had a conversation with a couple of our mortgage team, and I want to share something that is not considered, that should be considered by many of your sellers. And that is the fact that many people may have an interest rate that is below what current interest rates are. So they may have interest rate of 2.75 or 2.5 coming due in a year from now. Okay. And they're sitting there thinking to themselves, is now the right time to actually sell and buy my next home, my dream home, whether they're upsizing or downsizing? And the message that I received from the mortgage team was, quite amazing that many of us may not have thought of to share with our clients. If you can port your mortgage and buy the larger home, you're actually going to take the lower rate that you already have and the higher rate that's out there today and still average to where rates are probably going to be in about a year and a half from now. So imagine that you go from a 2.5% interest rate to a 4% interest rate because you've averaged it out. I think we can all agree that we're never going to see 2% interest rates again, but we will see 4.5s, right? We will see 4.25s. So, you know, we may even see 3.99. I'm just giving you an example, right? But the point is, if somebody is wanting to time the market without being in competition, now is the time to have that conversation that we had at the AGM. Do you remember what I said at the AGM? What are you going to do when your mortgage, what are your plans when your mortgage, when it comes up for renewal? Talk about mortgages with your clients. Talk about what their plans are with their mortgage, because that window of opportunity is right now if they're going to upsize. And that's going to be a lost opportunity if it's not taken advantage of right now. For people who are timing it, I do believe that we are in that highly, as I said before, impatience stage, and we have to be realistic and consider just how many people have been on the sidelines for over a year. They've been on the sidelines, not acting for over a year. And then you have to add the people who are new to the market. So this is the spring that I'm talking about. You can call it spring and seasonal. You could call it spring and the actual spring that's being, pushed down, that's going to, at some point start to pop. I'm not naive, and I'm not being in any way through rose-colored glasses. There's a lot of pain out there. There are a lot of people who are suffering with increased costs when it comes to, groceries and gas and home expenses and everything else that's going with it, and they're feeling squeezed. But we cannot paintbrush the entire country is feeling the same way. There are a lot of people who have a lot of equity who are ready to make that move, right? So I do believe having the conversation with mortgages, and I do believe that we're looking at a window of 2, 3, 4 months before, once rates start to come down, there's no questioning that people are going to setting their sights on the real estate market. And what I believe is going to happen, or is happening right now, is that we're going to see the freehold market continue to be stronger than the condo market. And I'm sharing this with everybody, both condos plus, pre-con, and obviously the residential side, the freehold side. Once the prices of the freehold homes start to elevate, then we'll have people revisit the condo market, right? But we have to have prices pushed up a little bit in the freehold market, more activity in the freehold market, and then it will become attractive in the condo market again. So, this is where I see things going. I'm not anticipating rates dropping by 1 or 2%. I just do believe that rates will drop, and if they do drop by 0.5%, that will be the sign to have people jumping back in the new normal. I hope that answered your question, Andre. Port the mortgage, take advantage of your low rate, have a high rate, extend it, win-win. That's my message. Win-win. Anybody have any other comments or questions about the market? Great. So Pamela, you're on the call. I'd love to hear more about the leads that you're seeing in kvCORE, if you don't mind sharing.
Hello, everybody. Jackie's going to share out the screen because I didn't get a chance to get on it this morning. But yesterday, Jackie and I had a look at the kvCORE leads, especially for the ultimate brokerage. And so we wanted to kind of review what was happening and also make sure that if you didn't know how to log in or didn't know that you have leads, that you might have some leads sitting there waiting to be processed. But I think if this screen shows correctly, there's 550 leads. It says that right up at the top. 550 leads. That's a lot of leads in here. And so these people have come in. We've been doing some paid marketing with new listings. So the leads that come in are coming in, and we have a system where they come in and they will circulate around to everyone. And if you have not logged in, you could be sitting there on a lead that the lead will get some initial campaign messages. So they may think that you're actively helping them. Meanwhile, you haven't even logged in to have a look at it. But so we've opened up one lead, Bonnie Jean. We just opened up one, or pick
Oh,
one.
hold on,
Jackie.
I'll do Lynn so that, because I think she responded to one.
Okay, perfect. So this lead went to, and if you scroll to the left, it's a company lead. We can only see company leads, by the way, folks. Don't want you to get worried that we can see all your leads. We can only see the ones that the company actually bought for you or that came down from the brand for you. Either way, those are free leads that you didn't pay anything for them. They are part of your participation in our brokerage. The payback that we want is for you to actually take action on these leads. So this lead went to, who did it go to?
Originally went to Alejandro.
Okay, it went to Alejandro, and automatically a campaign message would have gone out to the person, and the person, there's the message right here. So, hey, thanks for requesting information. It automatically went out from Alejandro. The person replied to that message saying, yes, I'm actively searching. And then we see some additional messages. So there was a buyer campaign that was removed, I think, I'm not sure why. There was a buyer campaign.
We switched it to a rental, but then they signed up so that they would get more information on King. They requested more information on Front. So these are like for sale properties they were looking for. And eventually we ended up reassigning the lead because we needed it to be responded quickly because it was clearly an active lead.
So what I want to make sure that you know is if you have not logged into kvCORE, that is your call to action to reach out to me, reach out to Jackie. We are hosting these sessions all the time. In fact, every Monday at 1 o'clock, we've been hosting webinars to make sure that you had your account set up, and therefore you would know how to get in and how to check your leads. One thing I look for when I'm looking at these leads to make sure that there's been some action taken is that I look to see if there was any messages or a phone call. So for example, this is Louisa Cantanita, I think it is. And if I wanted to reach her, I see there's a phone number, I see there's an email. The action buttons are just on the left side. So I can do a new call, send an email, a text. I can even add a note. Now, I know some agents don't like to call from within the system. For whatever reason, you just prefer to call separately using your cell phone. That's fine. Within the call option, there is a call log so that you could come in and leave a note or a message as to, what you did. So I called the person, I took down their wants and needs. I did my consultation with them. Here are some notes. If we see those notes, then we can tell that you're actively working with that person. However, if we come in and we just see some of the default things and then nothing, it's like just blah, nothing's happening after that. It's only fair for that potential client to be served by an agent who's actively using the system, logging in. So we want to make sure that you're not being prevented from accessing these leads. And education is probably the best way for us to do that. The leads are distributed through an automated process through an round robin. And
do you mind, Pamela, if I take that one?
Sure.
Because so it is a round robin through everyone in the brokerage. So Condos Plus has their own round robin. Ultimate has their own round robin. Leads are going to both. You cannot cherry pick. So we don't have it as a only rentals, only sellers. It's all or nothing. Each agent gets a few minutes to claim that lead. If nobody claims it, it will go to the next agent. Remax.ca leads, you don't have to claim, they just get sent to you. If you don't log into kvCORE within once every month, so once every 30 days, you'll automatically be booted out of the routing system, out of the round robin until you're reactivated. So all you have to do is just go in once a month to check. And that's pretty much it. But otherwise, every agent gets a claim and they have about like 10, 20 minutes to claim that lead before it goes to the next agent.
And there's office hours too, Jackie. You need to add the office hours.
Oh yeah, sorry. And yeah, so the leads are only distributed during office hours. After office hours, the leads sit in our system and then they'll be redistributed during office hours. That way you're not going to be getting a lead at like midnight and expected to respond, because I'm sure that person doesn't want to get a call from you at midnight either, right? So it's only during like 9 to 9, I think. Or 9 to 8, I believe I have it set for. So, yeah. I see Alma has a hand raised.
I do. Good morning, everyone. I think in the past, well, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, I've received 2 leads, and both leads were marketers.
Yeah, so those are from Remax.ca. We've only started running our own campaigns for maybe a month or 2. So you're going to have 2 different lead sources. One's from the Remax.ca website, which I can't really control what they are or who they are. And then the other ones are going to be from paid ads that we are running ourselves. And those are just going to be Facebook ads. And there's going to be marketers. Like we can't really control who fills those out. And yeah, you're going to get
it's coming in from KV Core.
Well,
Remax.ca leads come in through KV Core. Same with the Facebook leads. They're all routed through that system.
Well, interesting enough, you're also receiving marketing inquiries from me because, you know, all of a sudden you're getting some text message that I need money from you or something, right? Or some kind of gift card because I'm in a meeting and I'm stranded on some island. And, you know, quickly people are realizing that it was never from me, but it was from some area code, God knows where, and impersonating me, right? So technology is becoming, and the world of the internet's becoming quite complex when it comes to scam artists as well. And it's impossible to filter all those out. But what we are doing in every way possible is finding ways to market our agents' listings. Like your listings are being boosted so we can get more eyeballs on it and try to do whatever we can to be true business partners. But what we need from yourself, from everybody who's on, you know, this call and who's watching this video after, is to do what you can to educate yourself on this KV Core program. It is quite fantastic. And I want to just say that, you know, Jackie and Pamela are doing a fantastic job in trying to continuously educate and communicate the value of the KV Core system and the leads that are being created from it. But any system's only as good as what you use, right? You using it. So we need you to actually hop on, participate in these sessions, learn more about it. And, you know, as Pamela said, we don't see your personal leads that you're getting. We only see the leads that are being routed through our campaigns. And that makes sense because, you know, we have the round robin created in an effort to have each and every single agent receive leads all the time. And if we can,
Tim,
yeah,
I have a question.
Sure.
I received a lead from KV Core. I've
Yes.
been having some, it's just like curious inquiry. Then Jason replied to one of my on the lead to me saying, thanks for requesting property info on our site. Just curious, are you active searching for a property or just browsing right now? Jason, sign Remax Ultimate. I reply on that text and said, I wasn't looking for property on your site. I was replying to KV Core lead. I'm a Remax Ultimate agent. Now I got another text came in, you text to KV Core, your text to KV Core will not be delivered because this is the same phone number as your agent profile cell number. My agent profile is not 647-490. So then I saw Jason send in another message and it came to me, said I was about to set up some alert that maybe you're thinking it's a lead. I have no idea. I was just confused. And they're going to find whatever. So I was just curious when the lead come in, as you guys are saying, I had a few I respond, and this is the message I get from this number, thinking it was the lead. and it was coming from KV Core / Remax Ultimate. So I ignore it, and I just want to know if I have something like that in the future, what to do.
That is your smart number. So everyone with a KV Core account has a smart number, because when we send automated text to a lead or an automated system, it can't come from, if it's coming from the computer, it has to come from an AI number. So
I
that's the
wasn't
smart
aware
number.
when I signed up with KV Core, I put my number. I had no idea there was a smart number. So I
It's
wouldn't be
only for text messages, and it's just because text messages have to be sent through through a smart number. So any replies go to the smart number. So if you're texting through the app or texting through the desktop, it should be okay. But if you reply to the smart number directly, it gets lost in this weird loop. So a good idea is to take that smart number, add it to your contacts as lead, and then you always know it's the smart number and not the direct number
okay.
of the client.
Because I will get text leads. I was having quite a few. And when I respond directly to the consumer out there, I called and they're replying to me, but it's just that this particular number, I wasn't aware it was a smart number. So that's
Yes.
why I'm just inquiring.
I think the best, I believe, Elizabeth, the best thing to do in, you know, and this is wide for many of us, right? It's a learning curve, and taking advantage of any chance you can get for all of us to take advantage of the courses that are being held, either in person or Zoom.
Well, that's what I did. I did the in-person course with Pamela when we were going through and the setup. So I wasn't aware there was a smart number. I was just told to put in our numbers. And so now I know I will go through the system and make sure I document that number, so I won't be communicating with none of our KV Core contacts. Just
got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to
And
clear
I
that.
think I think as well that if you get a lead that's not really a lead, or it ends up being something like those marketers, what I usually do is I set them from active lead or prospect to Sphere, and then you can transfer the lead back. Right now, you can only transfer to Jackie. You can't transfer to me. But you can transfer it back to Jackie and put a note on it saying, please delete. So you may not be able to delete the company leads. However, we can delete, Jackie can delete the Remax Ultimate company leads. So if it ends up being something that is not a lead and you would like to have a look at it, use the option. It's in the lower left-hand corner where it has the option to transfer. Again, you know, even today, thank you for those that have reached out to me even while we're on the call. Great. I see we've got some requests for us to head up to St. Clair office. So because it looks like we're never going to get snow in Canada again, at least not in Toronto, we can go anywhere. So we will make some arrangements to get up to St. Clair. We'll make arrangements to get to Dundas. And again, we have those sessions on Mondays for, you know, kind of, it's really just to kind of get everybody started, but it's a great opportunity to ask questions. I will now be setting up something for a couple of people, and I don't mind doing small group, small sessions just to answer a lot more questions. But there's a few people that are off to the races with this already. So if they can do it, I know you can do it as well. And I just want to make sure that those market opportunities that Tim talked about, they're in your KV Core system, and at least some of them are. And so I want to make sure that you're capturing all of that business.
Yeah. Thank you so much, you know, for that, Pamela and Jackie, for sharing. I mean, you know, what I like about the end of this meeting is that it just created a whole different energy, you know, because we're talking about leads, and realize that the opportunity is right in front of us here to really take advantage of the systems that are in place and educate ourselves on the systems we have. So there are some chats, questions in here. It'd probably be best if these are directed offline to both Jackie and Pamela regarding these questions, because they are more technical and I wouldn't be able to answer them. And I don't think it's appropriate to turn this into a training session right now on KV Core, right? It's going to be pretty difficult to answer all those questions. But are there any other questions that people may have regarding the market or anything else before we sign off for this month? Okay, great. So what I want to share is we're planning on a more wholesome market update next month. I'm just waiting for confirmation from a guest speaker. So stay tuned for that. And if we could be of any help offline from this call, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a wonderful day and let's have an awesome March. And for those of you with kids, I hope you have a chance to enjoy a little bit of March break as well next week. Talk to you soon.